Greetings, family. Peace, love, and positive thinking. This is Guru, and thank you for joining my channel. This vlog is about a family who called the police for help with a family member who happened to be drunk. Minutes later, after police arrived, he was pronounced dead. Let's go to the story. A flurry of panicked 911 calls for help last week ended with a Pompano Beach man dead in his backyard, felled by police bullets, with family members of the slain man saying the officers aren't investigating the shooting properly. The family called for help with a drunk and aggressive family member who was, quote, breaking up stuff in the house, unquote, and threatening relatives on September 9th. Broward Sheriff's Office deputies showed up at the home at 10 p.m. 2 minutes later, 56-year-old Gregory Frazier was dead. The department followed protocol after the shooting, placing the two deputies who allegedly shot and killed him on paid leave. Now, this point here I'm highlighting because I want the white racists and every other American to know that it's reasons, this is one reason why Colin Kaepernick of the 49ers said he would sit it out during the national anthem, or why he would take one knee. And all you racists in this country, you had a fit just because of that action. And yet, once again, we are showing you and highlighting, and I mean literally, I'm highlighting the same argument that Colin Kaepernick said. And I'm going to read it again. The department followed protocol after the shooting, placing the two deputies who shot and killed him on paid leave. There is no allegedly, it's a fact. Since this article at the end of this article wants to deal with facts, let's start with the facts right here. And they placed the two deputies who shot and killed him on paid leave. But unlike the last 8 police-involved fatalities or near fatalities in Broward County, are you kidding me? You guys had 8 already? 8 police-involved fatalities or near fatalities in Broward County. Damn! No other prosecutors investigated the scene that night. Are you kidding me? You guys, this is white supremacy at its finest, at its worst. This is why we need to take these cases to the world court, not allow, because it's obvious that the United States of America does not want to deal with reality and the killings that they're doing of African people. It's just not right. Now, I'm going to stick with the story though. An investigator from the Broward State Attorney's Office, which prosecutes these cases, was not called out that night, said SAO spokesman Ron Ishoy. The on-call homicide prosecutor was consulted via phone early Saturday morning on a search warrant for the home, both organizations said. But Ishoy said an investigator was not called to the scene. It's not mandatory for investigators to be involved in incidents like this. BSO handed the investigation to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement on Monday. FDLE investigates police-involved shootings in Miami-Dade. The FDLE is the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. The Sheriff's Department was meeting with FDLE on Monday to adopt this policy, BSO spokeswoman Kayla Concepcion said. But before it could, Frazier became the first deputy-involved shooting of the year for the agency. The second was on Monday, and no one was killed. No other agency will have the benefit of viewing the scene before it was exposed to the elements, said Jasmine Rand, the family's attorney. Rand, a lawyer with Parks and Crump, the law firm that represented Trayvon Martin's family, and the family doesn't understand why deputies killed Frazier. Family members say deputies found Frazier sitting in the backyard eating chicken wings as people watched from next door and inside the house. The argument was over by then, she said. Witnesses told Rand there was not a lot of back and forth. It was just get down, and shots were fired. I want to say that again. The argument was over by then, she said. Witnesses told Rand, quote, there was not a lot of back and forth. It was just get down, and shots were fired. Quote, the officers responding had a duty, she said. That doesn't mean you get to shoot first and ask questions later. Moments before Frazier died, his sister called the authorities begging for help. He's got a knife. He's trying to hurt my daughter and my son, Deborah Frazier told 911 at 9:55 p.m. September 9th. She said her brother had been drinking all day and was brandishing a knife at her daughter. Quote, it's gonna get worse, she said. Hurry up, please. Her daughter was locked in a room inside the home with her baby, and Deborah said if Frazier saw her on the phone, then he'd, quote, really get crazy, unquote. By the end of the 5-minute call, police arrived. She told the officers her brother flashed a knife at her daughter, destroyed everything in the house, and was in the backyard in a black t-shirt. While her mother was on the phone, her daughter called the police a minute later from the locked room and echoed the knife threat and property destruction her mom mentioned. 2 minutes after the police arrived, the next call came. The man repeatedly asked for paramedics for a gunshot victim. A woman screamed, have mercy, in the backyard. Quote, who shot him? The operator asked. The police, he said. The police, he said, quote, they came for an emergency and he was in the backyard drunk with a knife and they shot him, unquote. So again, who shot him? The operator asked. The police, he said, quote, they came for an emergency and he was in the backyard drunk with a knife and they shot him, unquote. And now they are placed on paid leave. Exactly what Colin Kaepernick has pointed out, that white America refuses to acknowledge. They are acting dumb. With all their high IQs, they're acting stupid, ignorant, oblivious, blinded to the facts. But I digress. We're going to stick with this story. Shouting and screaming make the call hard to hear. He asked, quote, is he still breathing? Then the whine of emergency vehicles cuts through. That's more police cars, not an ambulance, he tells the operator. They're putting handcuffs on him. No, I'm sorry. Quote, they're putting handcuffs on him, he said. Man, he dead, man. Wow. This deserves repeating. They're putting handcuffs on him, he said. Quote, man, he dead, man. So you can understand that the police are sitting here, now that the man is dead, they're sitting here fearing for their lives, putting handcuffs on a dead man. This is white supremacy. These are KKK race soldiers wearing badges. They're not law enforcement. They don't have no respect for the law at all. And white America, you are condoning this type of behavior. It's shameful, it's dirty, it's nasty. With your silence, you are condoning this kind of behavior from the police, who you hold to very low standards. Because in our communities, we are told that the police are to be held to a higher standard, but it appears that white supremacy and white America is holding the police to very low standards to be able to get away with murder and then be placed on paid leave. But you're not understanding. So, going on into the article, another man in the background, possibly a deputy, shouts, quote, "He came at me with a knife," unquote, which is met with more screaming and yelling. So it appears that the police obviously are starting their lies, right? The sheriff's office hasn't released any more details of the moments between when the officers arrived and the bullets fired. In other words, we're not going to be able to see any body cam because the police need to lie and cover up a lie, and a body cam will show the truth and they can't reveal that. So, sorry, no other information is going to be released, especially a body cam videotape showing the actual facts. Instead, we're going to get the testy lies of the so-called police, of these race soldiers. We're going to hear from the race soldiers. That's what we're going to hear. We're going to hear the lies from them instead. Anyways, the only statement, said Frazier, quote, "produced a knife," unquote. The FDLE doesn't answer questions about active investigations. Well, that's convenient. The FDLE doesn't answer questions about active investigations. What a load of shit. I mean, excuses. You guys use nothing but excuses all the time. You use nothing but excuses as to how you get away with murder. So I digress. Let's get back to this so I can finish this off. Despite the scant information released, news reports on the shooting sparked an unusually fiery response from BSO. Initial reports from the Broward New Times stated the deputies who responded were white. BSO posted screenshots of the article on its Facebook page and called it irresponsible to report unverified and unattributed misinformation. Here's the fact. The fact is that 2 deputies fired their weapons. One was black, one was white. Fact, Mr. Frazier was facing the 2 deputies when the shots were fired, the department wrote. BSO spokeswoman Concepcion told the Herald the department was worried about upsetting an already tense racial atmosphere. Quote, "The national rhetoric is what's taking center stage rather than focusing on the facts of this one case," she said. So, let's stick to the facts for a minute. Here's a fact that you claim that both deputies fired their weapons. Do you know that for a fact? How can you tell us that when we're not being released any investigation? They don't answer questions about active investigations. So why would you bring these so-called facts to this article? Because those aren't facts, in my opinion. You're asserting something here, but it's not a fact. I'd like to know, how is it that you've come up to that conclusion that it's a fact that both the officers fired the weapons? And by the way, it's one thing for both officers to fire the weapons, but what officer actually killed the man? You see, there's a difference there too. Now, also, you put a fact that Mr. Frazier was facing the 2 deputies when shots were fired. Yeah, but we heard earlier, just a little while ago, I told you that he said that he came at me, quote, "He came at me with a knife," unquote. It's written right there. He came at me with a knife. So these facts, they're not facts. They're your assertions. They're some made-up stories once again. And the thing is African people, black people, we want the facts. We want to see the actual body cams. We want to see the video footage. We want to know the reality. We would like for you guys to stop stealing people's cell phones that reveal the truth. If you guys are telling the truth, be transparent. Stop hiding. You guys are liars. And that's the thing. As most Americans, we know that now. So when you ask us to stand for a racist, filthy, disgusting, star-spangled banner, black man and black woman, I ask, go sit your behind down somewhere. They don't deserve it. Not at all. Family, thanks a lot for watching. This is Guru. I'm sorry for my actually, no, I don't apologize. This is unapologetic. This deserves to have some anger. I'm sorry. We've seen this so many times, and it's pathetic. And I'm just tired of their excuses. We hear their excuses one after another every single time. We need to take these cases to the World Court, to The Hague. We need to take it outside of the United States, to the people of the world, because it's obvious that these so-called humans that we are surrounded by here in the United States, I question their humanity. Their humanity is definitely questioned. This is Guru. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share this vlog. Peace, love, and positive thinking. This is Guru. Thanks again for watching. Peace out.